From the start to the finish, go hard and we winning. It's the heart of a villain, it's the heart of a villain. From the start to the finish, go hard and we winning. It's the heart of a villain, it's the heart of a villain. Hey yo, heart of a villain beats hard in the centrifuge. Bearded BP, 100 interviews. All it takes is 2 mics and 1 line. This is Bearded Villains podcast worldwide. Driving cross countries, getting ball tires. Fam across ponds, always inspired. Chapters connect, and then it's on fire. Check your voters, BV is like a live wire. They said that we couldn't do it and that another could. Never underestimate the power of brotherhood. Every bro, every chapter, every caption. Heart of a villain, bro, lights, camera, action. Action, action, action. Let's go. BP. From the start to the finish, go hard and we winning. It's the heart of a villain.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another Thursday turn Tuesday night edition of the Heart of a Villain, the podcast and live stream devoted to the Bearded Villains Worldwide Brotherhood. Yes, we're here on a Tuesday. Some of you have found it, and others have forgotten that we said it would be Tuesday. That's okay. That's okay. They can find it some other time. They can listen to it on a standard podcast platform any other time. And where can you do that? Well, let's say it's at theheartofavillain.simplecast.com, or you can listen on any other standard podcast platform. As you all know, it's me, BP. How you doing? Good to see you here tonight. Hey, it is the 6th of June, 2023, and tonight we are doing something we have never done before. That's right. We are doing something we have never done before. Anybody guess what it is? Probably not. So here's what it is. We are doing a show on Tuesday, the 6th of June, 2023. We've never done that before because it's here. It's today. And yeah, that sounds stupid, but I had to have my little fun. So I'm sorry. I can't help it. I'm excited for this weekend. I'll be traveling, and I know that we've got Bearded Villain events going on in various parts of the country, and we've got all sorts of goodness going on. Lots of charity efforts going on, lots of brotherhood things going on. So not just in one location. All the good stuff. Hey, I want to say a big shout out and hello to the people who are here, giving us a shout and giving us a live listen here on this Tuesday night. Got to give a shout out to, hey, what is up, Jason? How you doing? Good to see you here. Red is in the house. Don't see Red too often. I don't know what's up. At least he doesn't come in and talk to us live. So love to see you here, Red. Good to see you. He made another comment a little bit ago. I'll include that in a minute. Robaba is here as well, saying his traditional good morning, good afternoon, good evening. It is very early morning hours over there in England for him. So good to see you here as well. He mentioned that it's time to bring back a certain drinking game. Maybe it is. Lillian is here as well. First time viewer, or at least first time talker in our live chat. Good to see you here. Buddy is also hanging out with us. Good to see you. Mr. Sanders. Caleb says, hi. Youngsters in the house as well with the big old hand. And then Red, of course, chimes in. It's past his bedtime. Yeah, you're an hour earlier, so I know it's 9 o'clock or thereabouts over there. So we're sorry. And today, yeah, that's right, Tim. Good to see you here as well. Today is always the best day. That's right. So, guys, thanks so much for being here if you're here live with me here tonight. This week, we've got a couple of things that we're adding to our merch list. And we are also going to be talking, our interview guest for this week is a gentleman, Mr. Jason, the co-cap of Smoky Mtn. I felt like we just talked to him. I mentioned this in the interview with him. I felt like I just talked to him just like a couple of weeks ago. It's been longer than that, but it just felt like it's been just a couple weeks ago. And so I, of course, made the comment. He seems like he's becoming a regular guest on here, kind of like Mars had been for a while there. So yeah, we're bringing him back, and he's talking to us about drumroll, Knoxvillains, the 6th anniversary of Knoxvillains. Looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to this. Is unfortunately the first year in several that I won't be at Knoxvillains, but I know they're going to have a blast. I know you're going to have a really good time. Knoxvillains is always super well attended, and it's just a fun time. So we're gonna have Jason on, talk a little bit about that. He's got some fun surprises. He's talking about some changes. If you're used to going to Knoxvillains and you're used to it being this certain way, pay attention. There's some changes coming this year. There's some changes. So we're going to talk to Jason in just a couple minutes about that. And as I said, we got some merch things that we're going to kick off with, and that's what we're going to do. We're just going to get down to business and get going, because I know somebody, Red, has a bedtime, and we don't want to keep him past his bedtime. We already are keeping him past his bedtime. So let's see here. I've just been told to check my phone. Okay, hang on a second. Let's see here. Let's see what I can do here. And hello. I see what the problem is. For some reason, my microphone has changed. Let's do this. Give me just a second, boys and girls. I will switch my audio. I'm not sure why it is not finding the soundboard. But hang on just a second. Stay with me. These are live things that happen here. So we're gonna transition here and see what we can do. As I'm talking to you, and you're hearing it live through some other microphone right now. I'm restarting my soundboard just to let you know what's going on. I appreciate Puzzle for giving us the heads up. I don't understand why that is and why it did not connect to the soundboard. So we're restarting the soundboard, and we'll be going through the broadcast mic here in just a minute. I have no idea why it was doing that. So the standard podcast platform people are going to pick it up, and it's going to sound normal because it will have gone all the way through the audio sound system here. But for some reason, it wasn't connecting. So we'll get to that in just a second. I appreciate you. Appreciate you, Hector, for telling me about that. So let's bring this up here and see what we've got. See if we can bring it in now. There it is. Now there's the sound. Hopefully you can get it now. Hopefully it's there now, and we can move on. Hopefully we can move on. I can't believe nobody else said anything. Nobody else said anything about the thinking that audio was normal. I'm sorry. You thought that audio was normal, and that was definitely not the normal audio for the show. So thank you so much, Puzzle, for pointing that out to me. Okay, now that we've got our audio back running the right way, somebody wants to give me a thumbs up, obviously, in the comment section to make sure we're back to normal with our audio. I don't think I said anything uber important that you probably couldn't hear while that was going on, but you were hearing the audio through one of my other microphones about 5 feet away. So I'm sure it sounded rather far away and like I was in a cave. So I do apologize for that. But hey, we are back with our normal setup, and then we're good to go. All right. So here's what we're going to do. As I said before, we're going to be talking about some merch items first, and then we're going to roll right into our interview with Jason. So let's kick off our merch stuff here with this guy. All right, some merch. Bringing in some merch. Okay, so a couple of these things are have been around for a little bit, and I unfortunately, I'm sorry, I did not do my 100% due diligence just to verify that these couple things that we've had on the books here for a couple weeks are still available. So if you are interested in them and they sound like there's something you want, then please, by all means, reach out to the chapter and find out if they are still available, because people collects the things, right? We collects the things, the patches, and some of these are going to very good causes. So pay close attention. All right, moving on. The Pride 2023 patch from Pennsylvania East, still out there, I believe. Pennsylvania. Are they sold out yet? If they are, congratulations. If they're not, let's get over there and get some more. Let's get them. Pride 2023 patches. I know a lot of people collect all of the Prides, all of the Pride patches. So get over to Pennsylvania East. Shipping is included for $12. Grab them while you can. Bearded Villains, Ohio, the Heartland Originals boys. They have a what they're calling their Memorial Day patch, red, white, and blue, with the flag behind it, with their winged aviator, I think is what they call it. I'm not sure. But very, very cool patch. Well, their patch is awesome anyway. So Memorial Day patch, Bearded Villains, Ohio. I don't know 100% if they still have some of those available, but if they do, you want to grab one for sure. So get over there and get some stuff from Ohio. And moving on. Let's see what else we got here. LA Originals. The LA Originals patch, American flag patch, 5 of 10, number 5 of 10. And that bad boy is number 5 of 10 in the set. $10 for their LA red, white, and blue American flag patch. Next up, Smoky Mtn Villains. The Smoky Mtn Villains. They are doing a very cool thing. They have decided that they are going to be one of many, and this is, we got to give a big shout out to everybody that's doing stuff like this. They have also created, following suit of a few other chapters that you're aware of, and I'll be mentioning here in just a second, creating a patch to raise money for a brother, Fox. And we're going to get into that in just a second with some of the others. But this one we've had out for, I think it's week 2 or 3. Their ENC X Factor, Smoky Mtn is actually selling it for $12. It's the ENC X Factor, but in the Smoky Mtn colors, right? That's what I believe it looks like anyway. So very cool stuff. $12 going to Fox. Also, gotta love this one. The New York Unicorn Squad, which you know is closely affiliated, obviously, with the newly titled, newly chartered Empire State Villains. They are also coming up with a Fox patch to raise money for Fox. They're calling it the Foxicorn benefit patch for brother. This thing is $13. And here's the cool story about this one. I'll read you this little excerpt that came with their post when they mentioned it. It says, this collab patch was designed between the New York Unicorn Squad and Fox's daughter, Ken's. Both have been a huge supporter of the Unicorn Squad and the New York chapter since day one. 100% of the proceeds of this patch go to Fox and his family. If nothing else, don't miss this badass patch designed by his daughter for us and for us in the family. 100 patches made. When they're gone, they're gone. So reach out to the, now this is a tie-in with the New York Unicorn Squad, but they're available on the Empire State Villains page. So get over to the Empire State IG page, click their little link, and you'll find it. That's where you need to go. Also, Rocket City came on board a couple weeks ago with their, I think it was last week, maybe the first time we mentioned it, with their Fight Like a Fox patch pre-order. They're doing a pre-order for Fight Like a Fox. Very cool design. Also in those green colors that we love. So Fight Like a Fox patch pre-order, $12 is what they got for this one. And that, again, is Rocket City Villains, where you need to go for that one. And then finally, I saw this come across the decks too earlier this week, which is kind of cool. Okanagan. We don't see merch a whole lot from them. At least I don't. So I love it when we see stuff when another chapter pops up, some cool merch that doesn't just output a whole lot of stuff. And it's unique too. This patch is unique. It's pretty cool. The Okanagan Grizzly is $15. You can get it at the Okanagan. Go to the Okanagan IG page, which will take you to their store page. Okanagan Villains. Very cool. It's a mixture of multiple images on that one. And guys, that's what I've got so far. Now I will say this. I know that there supposedly is merch available regarding the World Meet. I've heard this. Now, I went out this afternoon and I looked, and on the World Meet tab where they talk about arrangements for and everything else, I could not find. Maybe I was just out of my mind when I was just looking in the wrong places or something. But I could not find the direct link for or the direct mention of any merch for World Meet. So I don't know if it's come and gone, time passed for that or what. But if you're interested in some World Meet merch that's going on over in Belgium, hit up the Belgium chapter and give them a shout. Say, hey, Belgium, what's up? We need some merch, and get on it. All right. Well, that was a little bit of merch. I absolutely love, and it gives me chills when I see our chapters coming together for a brother in need, for family members in need. When we do that kind of stuff, it just really means a lot. So, just love to see it. All right, let's get into the meat and potatoes of tonight. Hey, tonight we are here talking. Well, you know what? There's gonna be. I do a little intro on this and everything. You don't need to hear me talking anymore. You really don't need me talking anymore about this stuff. So I'll just let the recorded part dictate and bring in our interview guest for this week. Okay, as you know, this weekend is the twofer. And it seems like every year rolls around that we have two very cool actual meets for people around the country to attend for BV here in the States. And so we've talked earlier, a couple weeks ago, we mentioned that the West Coast meet was going on. But this week, we're going to be talking with a brother from the chapter running, you guessed it, Knoxvillains. It's the 6th time that we've seen them run Knoxvillains. And this is always such a really cool event. So here today to talk to us a little bit about it, bringing him back on. He's become kind of a same old kind of thing. He's here all the time, it seems like, anymore. Jason, how you doing?
Doing good, man. I'm waiting for my invite to be a guest host.
Yeah, no doubt. Uh, if there was a way that I could have somebody actually be a guest host without having all the bells and whistles that I've got in here, that they could do it from their place, I'd be like, hey, who wants to be a guest host this week?
That's fair.
But I still have to be around to do all the stuff. So I could let somebody be a guest host and just sit behind the curtain, and be the wizard behind the curtain, just
Behind the curtain.
yeah, pushing buttons and everything. But I'm all for it, man. I've done this is 178 of these now, 178 episodes, and it's fun to sit back and maybe bring somebody else in. I'm always looking for something to ways to tinker with this format, and I've been hesitant to bring on somebody like full time as an extra one, because then it's an abundance of somebody else's time that I have to depend on, and then it becomes one of those. Well, why didn't you ask me instead of him? Why didn't you ask me instead of? Well, what about me? And then so I like the idea of occasionally bringing somebody on, and heck, with chapter turnover anymore, there's been some times that once a year I interview somebody from a chapter and I end up with somebody else, a brand new person. So it's always fun. But hey, let's just talk for a second here. What have you guys? What has it been like for you guys? I know your chapter, Smoky, is kind of interesting because you do a variety of things. You host more than one big event a year. But so what's it been like for you guys coming into since your last big event, coming into this one, prepping for this?
Business as usual. We had our chapter's 5th anniversary back in January in Johnson City, Tennessee, and we worked with the Isaiah 117 house there and had a great turnout, had a great event. We were able to raise some much needed funds for that charity. But we did kind of what we always do. We took a little breather. and then we just dove into the planning stages head first.
So
And then we're excited to get to this weekend and see the payoff on that.
yeah. It's funny. There's one of the things that I've always said, and I've said this to you guys, but I've also said this behind your backs before as well. That Smoky your chapter has always done a very good job of running events that feel like it's not being run like it's hard to kind of explain. It's very well run to the point where it doesn't feel like it's a business thing being run. You know what I'm saying? Where the guys that are doing the work you never get the impression you're not looking around looking at the guys jumping around like they're chickens with their head cut off and they're always spinning around looking for work or yelling at it, or you see chapter members hey get over here and do this, get over here and do this. It always seems like it's been a very well run machine, and I think that speaks to the organizational effort that you guys put in for this stuff.
Absolutely. I mean, we've got a lot of guys, in the right position. Um, Brian and I kind of oversee everything and make sure everything's running smoothly. If anybody does have any problems, they can come to us. But for the most part, it's our charity officer, Shane. He does an outstanding job of putting together our duty roster so that, guys know where they have to be at what time, who's relieving them. Um, it's just, like you said. I mean, I don't like to toot the horn or pat us on the back or anything, but I don't recall any of our events since I joined back in 2018 that we've had any major snafus or problems at. So I'm thrilled to still be a part of that.
Yeah, I'm not saying I'm fine with you not tooting your own horn, but hell, I'll toot it for you because, like I said, it's impressive. It's been fun to watch, but it's even something where, and I think I've told you this before. It's something that we have actually, my chapter, we've actually taken a page out of that, out of the way that you guys run things. When we first started, when our chapter was founded in 2020, and then when we first did our first big event that we had, we took a page out of your book where we said, okay, here's what we're going to do, guys. We're going to have a very, everybody kind of usually organizes these things where they have specific tasks, you guys, but the organization that was put forth, that has been put forth by you guys over the years, so that everybody knows you're not going to have to work the whole event. And that was always something that we really took with you from what you guys have done in the past, is that by breaking things up for people and having people move around and so the guys in the chapter don't feel like they're working the entire time, number one, so they can enjoy it, but that everybody gets a little something to do some work with. And so that was something that you don't need to toot your horn, but it's something we've taken out of your playbook to make it work
We,
for us too.
we definitely appreciate the compliment. It's something that we work hard to make sure that they run smooth, because the smoother your event runs, the more money you can raise for the charity, and that's what we're there for.
Yeah, absolutely. And you don't want your own guys feeling like they are resenting the event, that you don't want them looking back on the night and just thinking, oh, okay, we raised money, but geez,
Yeah.
what a mess, or what a hell, it was a hard time. And you want them to enjoy it too. And so that's something, like I said, that's kudos to you guys. This is something we saw from early on with the way that you guys run things. So thanks again for being a leader with that. That's very cool.
Absolutely.
So let's talk about this year, number 6. I know some of the stuff is same old. You're doing it, in the same way. You're charity and everything else same. But let's remind everybody the way things are going to go for this week, and when things kick off and where.
So Friday night, we are going to switch up the meet and greet a little bit this year, which is something that I'm really excited about.
All right.
First off, this is the first Knoxvillains meet and greet that I will be able to attend because I've been working the ones years prior. But instead of everybody just kind of scattering in Market Square across from the hotel, we actually have a location. Yeehaw Brewing Company just opened a new location like point 0.9 miles from the hotel.
All right.
And I haven't had the chance to visit it yet, but one of my guys has. I've seen pictures, I've seen videos. The place is massive. They do live music. They've got an outdoor patio section. The whole place looks amazing, and I think it's going to be a really good fit for the BB crowd because as I'm sure you know, and all your viewers know, we do love our spirits.
No,
But
really?
Really?
yeah, one or two.
I'm
But
sure.
yeah, we're gonna kick off the meet and greet there Friday night around 5 o'clock, and then a BB meet and greet, from 5 until. Uh, then Saturday, we're going to kick off with the flag shoot. It's going to be on the stairs right across from Market Square. We're going to be doing that at noon, which you know I don't think some of these guys own a watch, so it'll probably be around noon 15ish.
Yeah. Yeah. It's noon-ish.
Yeah, noon ish. Uh, After that, myself and the other officers will be able to get into the space. We'll get all the setup and everything handled up, and we should be opening the doors at around 2 p.m. to get registration underway for the beard comp and get this thing rolling.
It's cool. I love the location for the flag shoot that you guys have for this because it's a perfect place for you to spread out. You don't feel congested, and it's a neat place to you do the flag shoot and then you can just hang out for a bit and there's so much room to take extra pictures and it's staggered. It's specifically built basically for photos. It looks like.
Oh yeah,
So
I
it's
got my first picture with you on that staircase last year.
yeah, yeah. It's very very well built and it's such an easy walk to get to. Uh, yeah, if you don't mind stairs, but it's not that many. It's not that many really. But yeah, so I'm excited to see how things go for you, man, this year. I know there's some concerns and all, but hey, you guys always roll out an awesome event. And so remind everybody who the charity is or who the event is benefiting this year again.
So once again, we're working with the Autism Society of East Tennessee. So very, very excited to be working with them again. They've gone all in with us once again to help us put on the best event possible.
Yeah, you guys have had a really neat, very deep relationship with that organization for a while now. Can you talk a little bit about how that's developed over the time and what your relationship has meant to you guys?
Well, we've worked with the Autism Society for as long as I can remember. I've been to every Knoxvillains we've done except for the first one, just because I didn't join the chapter until later that year. But there's and just like with everybody in BB, autism is really close to a lot of us. I know we talked last time I was on. My son is autistic, so for me, being on the spectrum is everyday life, and having an organization like that locally that does what they can to offer support to families that also may be on the spectrum in a little bit more of an extreme way. Because I mean that is why it's called a spectrum.
Yeah.
You have severe cases, and then you have not so severe cases where the child can go on and lead a perfectly happy normal life. But either way, if those families need assistance in any way whatsoever, we're happy to work with an organization that can offer that. So to me personally, it means a lot that we work with the Autism Society.
Yeah. Yeah, I know in my conversations with the representatives I've had, especially a couple years ago when I was there talking, they just the hearing them talk about all the different ways that they offer support and the different things that they can do. It's refreshing to see because a lot of times they're able to help out in ways that you wouldn't think of, that you wouldn't commonly think of. And so I'm glad to see it. And especially because it's one of those things that people talk about autism, but they don't really talk about it. And we have members in the chapters. We have brothers who are on the spectrum, and some who have found out later in life that they're on the spectrum. They didn't always know that, and so
Absolutely.
it's one of those things where it's an eye opener for them, and it's just kind of like this epiphany where like, oh, now that makes sense, and that's probably the same thing that they discover when if you find out that your child's on the spectrum. That makes sense, and now you know how to address things. So it's
That's
I
my
really enjoy that.
reaction. My reaction verbatim when I found out my son was on the spectrum.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's why I love the partnership that you guys have created with them. That's great to see. Um, Can you talk for a second? And I usually ask this question and put people on the spot, and I know I've done it to you before too. Um, but I assume you're doing the raffles and maybe auction type stuff again this year. Um,
Absolutely,
do
absolutely. We
do
are
you?
going to do. We're going to switch it up a little bit with the auction. I think we are discussing. We are going to do a silent auction type
Really?
setting for some of the items that we have. We tried it out at our event back in January, and it actually worked really well.
Oh,
So we're going to give it a go because that's one thing we noticed is that for and especially for a cause like this and a charity like this, people want to donate and donate and donate, and throw all these items at you, which is awesome. I love that. But when you've already been there for like 4 or 5 hours sitting through a beard competition, and then you're there for another 3 hours sitting through an auction,
yeah,
we're trying to not really speed things along, but maybe expedite the process.
yeah.
So we're gonna have our raffles. Of course, we'll have the raffle table set up. We are releasing 2 patches for this event.
Okay.
Um, 2 patches that I'm very excited about. Um, I've seen them both in person already, and I took everything I had not to throw money at them right then and there.
Well,
Um,
tell us a little bit about what we can expect with that because we love surprises.
well, one of them is something that our chapter has never done before, merch wise. I've seen it done. I've seen other chapters do it. I own a couple of them, but Smoky Mountain has never done this type of patch before. So I'm really excited
Oh,
to see the reaction to that.
I could guess, but I don't want you to have to feel obligated to agree with me if I guess right.
I'll just hang up.
That'll be the clue that I guessed right. Click. So you don't have to answer any more questions. Oh, must have lost a connection there. No, that's cool. I get that you want to keep that quiet because that'll be fun for everybody to see for the first time and hear about for the first time when they get there. But so you guys had some good success with the silent auction then because I've heard I've always been hesitant to do that because I was always worried about that part of it. But I'm glad to hear you guys have had some success with it.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, of course, we had our guys working in shifts at the table, kind of walking people through how it goes, just in case they've never done a silent auction before. It went really smoothly.
Good, good. Well, I know that is like you said, that is that delicate balance when you're running an event. How much time is too much time on this one thing, and how long do you want the event to go, and how can you possibly speed things along during those slow moments? And the auction does seem to sometimes weigh things down, or the announcing of the raffle number, the raffle stuff, and you're always looking for new ways to speed things up and just make it a little bit more friendly to people, so they're not just staring up at walls and whatnot.
Oh yeah. Well, and one thing we're really excited about too. So for those of you that were at the event in January, the MC from that event is going to be MCing for us again at Knoxvillains. And you ask anybody that was at that event, and the MC was one thing that they were all talking about. That guy was amazing.
Okay,
He
who is
he was
this?
funny. I feel like such an
Put you
idiot
on the
right now,
spot. Yeah.
man. His name is
How'd you
like.
find him?
So we do another event in Johnson City every August. There's a barber up there who puts on an event and hands out school supplies to underprivileged families, stuff like that.
Okay.
And we usually go and help him set up and help hand out the school supplies, and we help him tear it all down. The last 2 years, I think, this guy has been the MC at that back to school event. So we approached him since, knowing that our anniversary event was going to be in that area this past year. And he came out and he rocked it for us.
Wow.
I mean, he was funny, but he kept it clean for the kids. Very high energy, kept things rolling. Um, we even ended up giving him second place in our partial beard category too.
Okay, he had a partial beard, huh?
Yeah, it's baby beard.
Okay. Hey, got to give him something there. That's for sure.
Oh,
Well,
yeah, of course.
That's cool. It's good that you found somebody that can really help. Because, man, I tell you what, and I'll never say who, and I'll never say when and where, but we've all been to that event where somebody that probably shouldn't have been the MC was, and it can make it drag on, and you feel bad for them because it's like it's probably somebody just stepped up to the plate because they didn't have anything else.
Yeah.
But it's. And we've all been to those, and heck, I've emceed a few before, and maybe I'm the same way. Maybe I'm that person that some people be like, no, not
Some people are in the crowd just going, "Oh, bless his heart."
Yeah, that could have been me in some people's eyes when I was doing some. So, but that's a perfect example. Everybody, it's not for everybody, and there's a certain gift. There's a certain gift for doing it. So. I'm glad. It's very cool that you found somebody that's gonna really bring it home for you, for sure.
Oh yeah.
Well, do you have the other thing? We kind of got off topic a little bit when I was about to ask you about. Do you have any teasers that you can give people to let them know you need to bring the money for it, for any raffle items or auction items that might be available for them?
We do have some handmade items being donated to us by one of our honorary members. I actually have that stuff in my possession right now, and I take it out of the box and just look at it.
All right.
Beautiful, beautiful handmade items. We've got there's going to be one or two things that I can guarantee. If you want it to leave the chapter, bring your checkbook. You're going to need it.
All right. I always love that because the chapter related and it's open for other people to buy, but it's going to probably cost them because some chapter members are going to want that to stay in house.
100%. And there's one thing that we discussed, but we haven't even told the chapter that it's going to be up for auction yet. I'm gonna break that news to them here in the next couple of days.
Well, if they're watching this show tomorrow night, they'll already know. They won't know exactly. They won't know exactly.
I mentioned it to Brian. Brian gave his blessings. So,
all right. Well,
I'm gonna run with it.
you're not actually saying what it is here. You'll have to tell them later, but we're teasing that there's something. So if you don't tell them by the time this airs on Tuesday night, then you're going to have some people coming over to you and what's going on here?
They know the number.
There you go. All right, man. I'm excited for this event. 6 years in, man. It doesn't hardly seem like it, but that's where the experience comes in, and that's why you guys have been so successful with this event year after year. So I'm excited to see where this thing takes you this year.
Oh, same. Very, very excited.
All right. Well, don't be a stranger. Keep the photos and the videos coming, and I can't wait to see all the success you guys have. Just go out, kill it, do your thing, do your normal thing that you do, and like I said, when you get a time and you can share the information, even if you just want to send it my way, just out of curiosity, I won't share it, but you can you can tell me all the secret stuff if you want to later.
Captain confidentiality, right?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Mute buttons.
Good deal, brother. Good deal.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, hey, have a great night. Thanks so much, and good luck this weekend.
Thank you, brother. Have a good one.
All right, take care. Hey, that was Jason. Jason hanging out with us. Very, very cool stuff. I'm telling you what. Okay, so, couple things we got going on right now. Right as we speak, love this live thing going on here. I'm going to give a couple updates that I learned about after the fact, and also I just love our listening audience, because boy, has more often than not, if I forget something or if I didn't know about something, one of our guys pipes in, shoots me a direct text that doesn't come through the comment section or something like that. Happened again tonight. Puzzle, in more ways than one, is helping out this show tonight. Love it. So I'll be giving you an update on another merch item that eluded me, and I'll kind of explain why. But this is one of the things. This is why we love it. This is why we love the live atmosphere. This is why I ask you guys all the time. I ask if you know of or you have any merch items that you're selling that have recently come out that you're trying to do for a cause or something. Shoot me a message and just let me know, because you know how that thing goes. I can't search every chapter, and that stupid Instagram or Facebook algorithm or whatever is out there, that you just can't. Sometimes you're never going to see everything. And sometimes that algorithm plays games with you week to week, depending on if you just happen to hit, and we've seen it. You've probably all seen it. It's happened to me all the time. Some music thing or some thing of interest that maybe you checked out on Facebook, because now IG and Facebook are all linked, but you looked at something on another platform, and then suddenly an ad or a story pops up on IG, in your IG story, and you happen to look at it for just a few seconds, even if you don't click on it, it knows that caught your attention. And then it starts to feed throw your feed with all this other stuff. And next thing you know, you're not getting half the people's feed that you used to have in the first place. So I try to clean things up occasionally, and but there's times when I miss. So that's why it's ultra important. So again, tonight, puzzle. Hector's helping me out, feed me with a little bit of information. But going back to my interview with Jason, two things. It's funny because I love the surprise aspect of some things. He said that they've had some success with the silent auction thing, and I really is surprised by that. But I'm hopeful for that. I think that's great. I know chapters that have done that and not had as much success with it as they had with the standard auction. But if they're killing it, they're killing it. That's great. That's great. Now I will say this: he talked about. I'm not gonna break any more news than what he already did. Anything that he did tell me or show me in confidence. But I will say this, and I mentioned it in the comment section. I chimed in and said something just like he did. Bring your checkbook, because if you like collectible items, if you like things that haven't been sold and or seen before, if you like things that probably will never be seen and or sold again, bring the checkbook. Bring the checkbook. There's going to be some cool stuff there. And he mentioned that there were 2 patches that they have. I won't tell you about them other than to say I saw them, and you're going to wish that you brought your money if you didn't. Because, I mean, if they sell out, because, Knoxvillains is a well-attended event. If they sell out, you're going to wish you had one. That's all I can say. One especially really popped. I mean, wow. You're going to want it. You're going to want it. So, thank you so much, Jason, for taking some time out. I know we were going around and around for a couple of weeks to try and get word out, or trying to get our interview set up for that. So it just happened to work out really well for it to be on the Tuesday broadcast this week to get word out and talk a little bit about Knoxvillains. Now, going back to the merch thing again, we're going to go backwards for a second. Threeper came in and joined us midstream here. And howdy to you, Mr. Threeper. He did say, we have a patch for sale, funds raised for our brother. So yes, we are aware, sir. We mentioned said patch during the first few minutes. We got you covered. Now, I also wanted to mention the thing that our brother Puzzle mentioned to me behind the scenes there just a few minutes ago. I'm going to see if I can bring it in here, see if it'll populate for me. There it is. The Trash Plate Autism Awareness Event Official Patch. That's a big tongue twister. But remember when we had a thing called the New York Upstate Villains? The Upstate New York Villains have since, in the last couple of weeks, become the Empire State Villains. Well, this, to my knowledge, from what they were saying, is going to be the last. This is why this is ultra cool. I mean, it's cool enough because it's an event patch for their event that's coming up that deals with the proceeds are going for autism resources. But so that's great because we know a lot of people collect autism patches anyway. But the fact that this is probably, I think this is the last merch produced with the name Upstate New York on it. Everything's Empire State now. So this will be the last of the Upstate New York Villains patches of any kind produced. Never to be done again, that name. I think that kind of heightens the need to grab some of these. And grab a couple of them because they're going to be collector's items in the patch world anyway, number one. But number two, you're helping out. It's for autism. So $15. Now, I will say this, and this is part of the reason why I couldn't find them. So I want to educate everybody that's listening right now. They recently changed their name, obviously, from New York Upstate to Empire State Villains. When you go to their IG page and you click on their link, it'll take you to their store. Don't just go to their merch store. Don't just go to their merch or their product page. There is a special tab, and this is why I couldn't find it initially, but I'm trying to tell you. There's a special tab for trash plate, for their trash plate event. Trash plate merch. I can't remember if that's what it's listed at, but it's trash plate something. It's their trash plate tab under there where they have products and stuff. Under there is where you can get this. And I think they had a shirt as well. So very important, very important. Find your way there. Trash Plate Autism Awareness Event Official Patch, $15. These are not going to be made with this name again. So grab them while you can, guys. Grab them while you can. Get many. It's going for a good cause. $15. Okay, so that updates me, I think. That updates me on the merch for this week that I've got so far, unless somebody chimes in and says, hey, VP, you screwed the pooch and you missed this one as well. So hopefully not. All right, guys. Well, that's, you know what? This is the crux of the show. This is the end of it, man. We have 2 events here stateside to go to where you can share 2 big events. I don't know if there's some smaller get-togethers or gatherings that I don't know about, but for sure, in the last couple weeks, we have covered the West Coast meet going on in Las Vegas this weekend, and we've covered Knoxvillains going on in Knoxville this weekend. So you have, unless you live on the far extenuating, the extreme sides of the coasts, you really don't have, and really if you live on the West Coast, I mean, how far away is Vegas anyway, unless you're up in the north? You don't have an excuse. somewhere in the central part of the country, unless you're on the far east end, I get it. But if you live in the Midwest, get to Knoxville. It's an awesome event. It's run so well over the years. You will not be unhappy that you went. Always a great event. Plus, you get your eyes and your hands and your grubby mitts on some merch that's not been made before. Some really cool stuff. And then Vegas is just Vegas, right? If you're over there near Vegas, get to Vegas. Get to Vegas for the West Coast meet. All right, guys. Hey, you know what we do, how we do things. We wrap them up with this here song. That's going to wrap up this week's episode 178 of The Heart of a Villain. Guys, as I tell you every week, I want to challenge you to be the villain that the world needs you to be, because the heart of a villain never stops beating. The most important words I say every single week, please remember them well. Remember, it's okay not to be okay. If you are hurting, please find a brother to talk to. Remember, it's okay not to be okay. Well, that's going to wrap it up, guys, for this week. I'll see you back here next week for episode 179. Those of you going to Las Vegas this weekend, I will see you over there. Everybody have a great time. Do your stuff. Be villain. Have a great time in Knoxville. Have a great time in Vegas. Talk to you soon. Take care. Stay safe.
Go hard and we win, and it's the heart of a villain. It's the heart of a villain. From the start to the